don't let anybody silence you. And if they have silenced you, this is your cue. This is your wake-up call to get up and live again. Get up and use your voice. In fact, if not for anything, use your voice for that thing that was trying to silence you. Use your voice to make sure that that thing will not silence somebody else tomorrow. And that is really, one of the reasons why I'm so passionate, because no woman will go through what I went through. It ends with me. And so how would they know if I don't use my voice?
Welcome to your Voice Your Impact show, where authentic voices spark real change and bold conversations lead to lasting impact.
That's right. This is a space where we amplify ideas, celebrate stories, and challenge mindsets, because every voice matters and every story has the power to transform.
Whether you're a dreamer, a doer, a change maker, or someone simply figuring it out, we are here for you. Each week, we bring inspiring guests, thought-provoking conversations, and powerful insights to help you own your voice and leave your impact.
I am the energetic EJ, a life and transformational coach, a podcaster, and an event host. I work with women who are accomplished to turn their success into legacy influence.
Hi, my name is Olawale Afolabi, but many know me as Scott Unlimited. I'm a seasoned compere and orator par excellence, passionate about connecting people through words and purpose. Beyond the mic, I'm a business intelligence professional driven by insight, strategy, and impact.
My name is Grace So Amazing. I am an integrative life coach. I help my clients align their psychological, social, and physical well-being. I am the founder of Friends Lean On Global Foundation, a non-governmental organization that is centered on educating people about mental and emotional well-being. Like,
subscribe,
and share. Welcome.
hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another exciting episode of Your Voice, Your Impact. This month, we are focusing on women. Yes, it's not just a day, it's the entire month to celebrate outstanding women, people doing outstanding things in their communities. And today, I have someone very special. You're going to meet her soon. I met her, we have not met physically, but digitally about 2 years ago. And it was an interesting time with her. Today on the show, we will be touchlighting and talking about interesting things that you will find very thought-provoking. Why are we talking about women? You already know, for obvious reasons, it's the month for women, and we are going to talk about women doing great things today. Our guest is someone I call powerful. Powerful. So if you know anybody that should be here right now, you need to go call the person so that we can have this conversation. Today, I promise you, without mincing words, you're going to enjoy the conversation because we're going to be talking about things that would help you think. All right, without much ado, I'm going to invite my guest to the podium, and she'll introduce herself to you. So I'm not going to call her name. I'll allow her to come on board and introduce herself to you, our amazing audience.
Okay, hello everyone. Happy to be here. My name is Enifome Ogbimi, and I am a resilience coach, trauma recovery expert, and multi-potentialite. I'm a reformer. What I do basically is to help women live again. So I help them heal from trauma. I help them reinvent themselves so that they can live again purposefully and profitably. I also train female leaders, organizations, and teams on workplace trauma, emotional resilience, and sustainable performance. So in a nutshell, that is what I do. There's a lot that I do, but around this conversation, that is where I'm going to leave the boundary.
Thank you. Thank you so much for, let me give you guys a backstory. And one of the reasons why we do what we do at Your Voice, Your Impact is against all odds. Today, we are shooting this against all odds. But she just mentioned it that she's a resilience coach, and it only explains why, even though everything isn't looking we were moving back and forth. She's a very, very, very busy person. So getting her to be here today is something that you should be grateful for if you're watching this, because you're going to learn a thing or two from her. As a resilience coach and someone who is doing great work, I want you to tell us how you would introduce yourself. You've introduced yourself, but one thing about you that when you meet someone and you tell someone about that thing, that particular thing about you, they would never forget it. What's that one thing? One fun thing, maybe I should add, one fun thing about you.
I don't know if it is fun, but I always say that I am fire. I give life to people, events, and organizations. So I am a life giver. I am that kind of I'm an atmosphere shifter, basically. So when I get into a room or when I'm speaking to someone, you would feel some level of ignition. You feel awakened, you feel activated, and you would feel like you can do anything. That's the gift that I have. I don't know if it's a fun thing, but it's something that you have to notice every time you meet me anywhere. It's just part of my life. So yeah, I'm a life giver, and I am fire. So the fire is what I use to activate people, organizations, try to keep them, make them, ignite their passion, make them reignite. Sometimes there is the deadness that comes out from things, people, places, life situations that happens and makes people to become dead or walking dead. So when you encounter me, you would live again. You would receive life. You'll be fired up from the inside. And if there's something you abandoned, like your dream, even if you yourself have abandoned yourself, you will be awakened. You would get introduced to the real you before life happened, and something about you will change. So I don't know if that is fun, but that is something that is a common thread in my life.
I love it. I love and I appreciate it. And then you mentioned something, live again, which is something that is very fascinating about you. And when I started following you and I started seeing all the things that you do, and you've shared your story. You still talk about your story, and on your platform you help women, dealing with certain issues, like you already mentioned that you help women dealing with trauma. So the question I want to ask you, where did this start from, and why are you very passionate about reigniting dead fire or dead things? Where did this start from?
Friends 2 Lean On Global Foundation is dedicated to mental health awareness, education, advocacy and empowerment. We are currently raising awareness for postpartum depression. 1 in 5 women suffer from this condition. Kindly join us to make a difference in the lives of these women going through postpartum depression. For sponsorships, contact us on @Friends 2 Lean On.
Okay, so as a child, I would like to say I came with fire. I was that fearless, bold, audacious, fiery child that was not afraid of anything. I was not afraid of anyone. So I don't know, I don't care who the person is. If I had an opinion, I would share. If I had a question, I would ask. If something was not okay, I would talk. I would say this thing ought not to be this way. If I see someone that is being oppressed, I will carry the matter on my head and I will go and start fighting for the person. And this was me as a child. But a lot of people felt this was too much. A lot of people felt, keep quiet, must you talk? Must you take action? Everybody else saw it and passed. Why can't you just pass? Everybody saw it, and why are you the one saying it? That kind of thing. So after a while, I became very timid. I became very reserved. I would just literally stay on my own. And then when I now grew up in life, I noticed that different things were always trying to silence me. It's either life tried to silence me, or I'm in the workplace and there's a workplace abuse, or relationship wise I'm going through abuse. I just noticed that life was trying to put out my fire through different means. And so I realized that the fire that God placed inside of me was useful for my world, and I needed to use it to make impact in my world. And I should not let anybody or anyone extinguish that fire or silence me. So I went through domestic violence and abuse, and it was the worst of them all. So I told you that there were different things that happened to me, but this particular one almost killed me. I became a walking dead. I became a shadow of myself. I lost my voice. I became a mute. So if I see something happening, I'll just keep quiet. If they tell me keep quiet, I will keep quiet. They tell me stand up, I will stand up. Sit down, I will sit down. I became a zombie, right? And so when I came out of that experience and I began to heal, because I really sat down to ask myself, what really happened to me? Why am I this way? I wasn't this way before. So I began to introspect, and I realized that I allowed people define me. I allowed situations define me. I allowed myself to be reduced to the point where another human being could abuse me. So in my healing journey, on one of those days, I had live again. And live again was more like a call to action. It was an awakening, and it was also a message for others. So I saw a vision of women who were wearing suits, looking good in the standard of looking good, right? We live in a world where it's very easy to throw on like a wig and put some makeup on, just accessorize with the right accessories like the eyeglass, the earrings. And so a lot of people cover their pain, and you might never know what you're dealing with. But when I saw this vision of women wearing suits and they were walking like zombies, more like vampires, what came to me is these are the women who are supposed to be fulfilling their purpose, supposed to be doing great things in the world, but life has happened and knocked them down. Many of them are walking dead, but they are showing up in their offices, they are showing up at work, they are showing up as mothers, they're doing what they need to do, right? They look like they have it put together, but they're gone, they're dying slowly. Go and help women, go and help people, go and see how you can awaken dead fires, how you can awaken dead things, how you can just make people come back to themselves and go back to what they were originally placed here on earth for. So that's the awakening for me, and that's what really launched me into doing what I am doing today with the urgency that I am doing it. Because while pain is a very valid thing, it's not big enough to cripple a person and keep them stuck for life. But that's like a deception that is happening where, oh, I'm okay with staying with my pain. I would rather build myths about my pain. I would rather keep talking about this pain. I would rather keep rehearsing this pain. So because you don't know what happened to me, you don't know what happened to me, you don't know what happened to me. While what happened to you is valid, you have to move from a place of what happened to you to what you can do with what happened to you. Because pain is a gift. Pain is a tool. Pain can either make you or mar you. Pain can either make you bitter or better. The difference is what you do with it. And what you do with it will only happen if you are given more knowledge and trained and taught and guided on how to use it. So that's really just a summary of how I found myself in this, and I have been stewarding this assignment and this mission to the best of my abilities. So yeah, that's how I found myself here and why I do the work that I do with the urgency that I do, because generations are waiting for the manifestation of the people that are here on earth. But when we are bound by pain, what that does is we end up sleeping. And when we sleep, a generation sleeps. And then you see people coming after you and doing twice the work that you did, doing so much to just, because there's a lot of work that has been abandoned, right? And then it just makes work difficult for those coming after. And it doesn't make us to be able to live fully, live boldly, and fulfill the reason why we're here. So yeah, it's urgent.
I mean, I was just listening to you, and I was already feeling good just listening to you and inspired. And I'll just ask you a follow-up question. Do you think all women fall in this category of, you're a woman, just keep quiet, you don't talk? Do you think it's not unique to you? Do you think it's something that is general for women?
There's even a notion that women should not be seen. If we're to go by notions, there are several notions. But I find that a lot of these notions are cultural, because I know that I've experienced a lot of these things. Even as someone who is very vocal now and has found a voice again, I have found myself in situations where people try to shut me up because I'm a woman. In fact, I'm going to give two different examples. So in the compound where I stay, right, when we want to do anything, like we want to solve a problem or create a solution or do something that will make lives better, please let me know if you can hear me, because I look like I'm frozen sometimes. I want to know, is it affecting the output? Perfect.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. So this particular day, the landlord came around. So he had talked and he wanted to hear our opinions. And I noticed that all the women were quiet. And I said, okay, I would like to say something. And you could see the look on the faces of the men, the woman, right? Allow the men talk. And there are sometimes too that I would find myself in situations where the men will say, no, you're a woman, allow the men talk. On one particular day, I was emceeing an event, because I'm also an MC. And I was emceeing an event as a master of ceremonies. And immediately I took the mic to start speaking, a man walked up to me, quite a bit elderly. And he said, are you the MC for this event? I said, yes. He said, you can't be the MC for this event. And I was looking at him like, okay, watch me do it. And he said, I'm gonna get a man to join you. And he went back to his seat. So I think the couple had asked what was going on. I said, the man mentioned something about, am I the MC for the event? They said, please go ahead and do what you're doing. Do what you know how to do best, please. That's why we brought you here. And so I did the MC. It was excellent. And the man came to meet me after the event to say, wow, like, you're a strong woman. I don't know what he meant by that. But he obviously could see that, oh, I wasn't a push around, and he saw that I knew what I was doing and this was my job, right? So it can be intimidating. I think it's a cultural thing. I don't know where it started from, maybe in the olden days in Africa, where women were not allowed to speak. Because even till now, as a minister, because I'm also a minister of the gospel, when I go out to, to maybe preach in a church or something, I've not experienced it, but I've heard people tell me their experiences as ministers, that in some churches, women are not allowed to preach. So when a particular woman was saying she went to preach and people were looking at her, the men are just looking at her with squeezed faces and just body language of let her just say what she wants to say and leave. It was later that she realized that they don't even allow women preach in that church. So I believe it's a cultural thing. I don't know this with people outside of Africa, women outside of Africa, but from my experience, it's something that happened to African women, and I believe that the cultural notions, the cultural foundations it has really played a great role in why women are silenced in this part of the world, and why some people still feel like, why should this person be saying anything? She's a woman. I believe that that is the strong reason, and I don't think it's for only women. I just feel that it's not with women, right? I don't think it's for only women, but it's worse. It's worse with women, because before you silence a man, you think about it like, ah, this is a man. But it's worse. It happens across all spheres. Single mothers experience stigmatization, more than single fathers. You see people that you hear stories, you want to get a house, and the man says he's a single father, the landlord gives him the house. But if it's a single mother, starts to ask her questions like, what happened to your husband? Why can you pay the fees? I hope you will not be here. And I've heard the same thing for single ladies too, that it's very tough for them. So I've heard from different sides, like a lot of times women are always silenced, and it looks like you can't talk because you're a woman. The same scenario, same situation, it will be different for a man. I don't know why.
That's really sad. And yeah, we had an episode on the show about 3 Mondays ago where we talked about culture, where we just followed something. In fact, one of the co-hosts talked about how we are we are following dead people's instructions, because the people that set some of these things up are no longer existing. And you wonder why certain things are happening the way they are happening. But it makes so much sense to know that we're changing all of this. With this conversation, people are being enlightened. There's this awareness. Know that, look, you don't have to keep quiet. I'm sure there's a reason why we were gifted a mouth, and it's interesting that, I mean, I'm still shocked. I know these stories, I've heard it, but whenever they talk about the landlord one, where people, I'm still shocked, but I think we'll continue to talk until it changes, because that's why we do what we do. Let our voices create the impact and things that we're looking for to change in our community. So let's talk about the theme for the month, Give to Gain. First things first, what do you think about the theme? And what's your take on the theme? And how do you see that theme shaping the world as a global, entity, or, I mean, the world as a whole? What do you think about it?
So interestingly, this is, out of all the IWD themes that have happened, this is the one that I love the most. I love it very much because it resonates with me and my journey. And it's a call to really introspect, to see, what can I give? What do I have? And what can I give? Right. And so for me, when I went through domestic violence and all, I wanted to just fix myself and just stay by myself, do what I needed to do for myself, because when you go through abuse, it's a lot. So you have to stay, and you have to try to re-engineer and get yourself back to who you used to be. So that was my focus until I received the mandate to go and help other women. And one thing I started noticing was, even when I did not even know that my job was to, or know that my mission was to help people, or any of that, maybe help them live again or something like that, I would see women come to me to tell me, I'm going through this, I'm going through that, I'm going through abuse, what can I do? This is what I'm dealing with. I will find myself in places where I have to start giving advice to women and helping them, encouraging them. It just started with encouragement, like, it is well, don't worry, everything will be fine, don't worry, don't let this thing affect you, you're better than this, you're more than this. So for me, I had to start giving advices, giving access, giving knowledge from what I was learning, helping women see how they could get free from toxic situations, toxic marriages, by directing them to the appropriate authorities, by calling lawyers, so I had to start giving from what I could. And even when I didn't have funds, I've had to give from what I have. And I'll give a classic example. There was a time when a lady reached out to me that she was in the hospital and that she had done an emergency CS and she didn't have the funds to make payment. And the more she stayed in the hospital, the more money she had to pay, the more her bills and her fee was increasing. And when she called me, I felt really bad for her because I know what happened to her child. She lost a child. I was happy that she had given birth, but I was sad that she was stuck in the hospital because she had a natural delivery and she had to deal with the burden of paying her exorbitant medical bills. But I couldn't do much. But she suggested to me, why don't you post it on your page or on your WhatsApp status? Let's see what happens. And I said, oh, sure, I can do that. So I quickly posted it. And in less than 24 hours, people were messaging me to say, how can this woman how much have you raised? What can we do for her? And we're able to raise the money, paid the bills, and she was discharged from the hospital. So that experience taught me that even when I don't have resources to give, I have something to give. I have knowledge to give. I could give of my platform. I could give women access. I could give women a word of encouragement. I could give women a job. I could, even if I don't have the job, I could reach out to someone who can give them the job or someone who knows someone who can help. And that has really shaped my work, especially around my foundation, helping the underserved women. We have a shelter that we help women and children. Right now we have 4 women and children, 4 women and 4 children in our shelter. So it has really shaped the work that I do, because even you might not be able to provide everything and you cannot help everything, but there are people who may have those things to give. For example, when we needed pots because the women were cooking their children and all of that, normally the pots would be enough if maybe we just had 4 women in the shelter, or 4 to 6, and they were not cooking, or I won't say they were not cooking, but they were not cooking as much because of the children and how children eat. But we had need for pots, and I just posted it and said, please, if you have brand new pots that you probably received as gifts, maybe at your wedding or something, and you're not using them, and you would like to give them out to make impact to help women live again, please donate it to our shelter. And we received 3 new sets of pots from one particular woman. And that's an example of giving to gain. And I've realized that the more you give, the more you gain. Everything you're looking for is tied to people. When the Holy Book says love your neighbor as yourself, it's for your own good, because when you love your neighbor, it comes back to you. So as against trying to keep and tell ourselves that, oh, I'm not going to give because if I give, what I give will go away. It will not go away. It will come back to you. So if you're giving a bad thing, it will come to you. If you're giving a good thing, it will come back to you. If you're giving love, love will come back to you. If you're giving kindness, kindness will come back to you. We live in a world where people talk a lot. A lot of people are not doing the work. I'm telling you, a lot of people are not doing the work. We're just talking and talking and talking. But very few people are doing the work or supporting those who are doing the work. So Give to Gain is a call to move from talking into action, and not just action, intentional action, where you know that you will give, not because you have too much to give, but because regardless of what you have, there is something you can give from what you have to gain. And you're not giving because you want to gain. You're giving because you have an understanding that when I give, I'm actually giving to myself. So if I love myself, I should give. I don't know if this is making sense to someone listening, but I believe it is. Give, give, give because you know that somebody will gain from what you're doing, and you yourself that is giving, you will not lack because you gave. So it really means a lot to me. It resonates with my journey, and it's a call for me to give more and do more, and that I'm on the right track doing what I'm doing.
At this point, I need to give you a clap. Well done for what you do. I mean, just thinking about the shelter, I'm just saying to myself, like, wow, having to house people that are vulnerable and with their children, it's a lot of work. Even if it's one person, you know how you have a house and then you're housing somebody, you're bringing somebody into your house. You have to start thinking, if you were in your own house, thinking of what you would eat and what your own immediate family would eat will not be a problem. But when you bring one more mouth, huh, it's going to be a big deal, especially with the situation in the country. So just thinking about, and it is coming, what I hear you say is you probably understand what it means to be in a position where you just need someone to assist you. You need someone to help you. And for that, I don't know who's going to watch this and who's going to watch this many years from today, but this is a message to someone out there. Sometimes it is just for you to understand that your pain is not necessarily there to torture you, but for you to have an insight of what another person is going through. And you might just be the powerful one, because a lot of people go through pain and they don't come out of it. And some of them may not be able to do anything with it. And then you might just be the chosen one that would help others. So thank you so much, Enifome, for the work that you do. And I'm just praying and hoping that someone is going to see this and just reach out to you to say, you know what, I like what you do. I am not called out to do it. It is not my forte. I don't know how to get a shelter for someone and put someone and cater to such people. But I want to support what you do because I want to tie it to your ministry. Please, if you're that person and you're watching this, you can reach out to her. And I promise you, I have seen the work that she does. And it is interesting to know that someone is helping someone, at least for a period, to gather themselves before they can live again. Thank you, sister. And I pray that God would uplift you and keep, giving you all that you need to keep it going. All right. So as we start getting set to wrap up, I want you to send a message, to someone out there. And this time around, a case of a woman, probably a woman that is currently in a place where you used to be and is just tired, like, you know what, I am done. What would you say to such a woman, and send a message to such a woman?
Okay, so if you're listening to me, I want you to know that what you're going through might not have started with you. I want you to know that the frustrations you're experiencing probably happened to someone before you, but they also said, I am done. And that's why you are having to deal with it. I want you to know that you are the person that needs to end it in your lineage. You're the person that needs to create a new pattern that other people can come in and not experience the same frustrations that you're experiencing. I want you to know that the reason why you're feeling this way is because there's something inside of you that is calling you to change what is not normal around you. And you might look at yourself that, do I have the power to change it? You do. That power is inside of you. It's not outside of you. Maybe you've been looking at the outside, but you need to start looking at the inside. You are more powerful than you think. You are powerful beyond measure. In fact, you can do anything you set your mind to do, as long as you can put your mind to it and insist on doing it. But you need to understand why. So sit down and ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Why is this happening? And what can I do with what is happening? How can I take this and grow through it? How can I learn from what is happening? So think about the lessons you can learn from your life before now till this point. What are the things that have happened that have been very significant, whether good or bad? What can you learn from them? Now, who needs this thing that you have learned? Who needs it? And you would see that there are people around you who need something that you can offer. And as long as you can offer that to that person, you are adding value and you are solving a problem. And when you can add value and solve a problem, you are actually going to fulfill purpose, and money would come money would come. As long as you can follow that leading and start it. Don't focus so much on the money, and don't look at your life that because I'm not making the money I want to make, I am done. No. What you should think about is, how can I add value? How can I come out of this, grow through it, become better, stronger, and become a blessing to someone else? When you do that, you would realize that you're not so fixated anymore on what you're going through, but you would find yourself growing above what you're going through. So what you're going through is not bad to you. Everyone around us is going through one thing or the other. The difference is that when it's happening to you, it becomes very magnified. So you think, oh, I'm the only one. You're not the only one, but you might be the sent one. You might be the one that is sent to help others. So please, what you are going through is temporary. I am not belittling your pain. I want you to feel the pain because it's valid. Feel it. Get angry if you have to. In fact, scream if you have to. But now ride on that energy, because pain, ride on it to say, I am going to become a better version of myself. I'm going to become better. I'm going to become stronger. I'm going to go through this. But don't do that until you look within yourself and really ask yourself, what can I learn from this and how did I get here? Because sometimes we are contributors because of the way we think, because of the things that we do, and sometimes even what we've experienced from other people that have indirectly affected our mindset, our beliefs. There's always a part sometimes that we play, or something we could have done better. Not for you to start blaming yourself, but for you to learn so that you can also help another person in the same situation. So I will stop there, but I feel you. I see you. I know that what you're going through is not pleasant, but you are more than what you're going through. Trust me, you are more than what you're going through. There's even something ahead that
Yeah.
is coming. That's why you're feeling the intensity. So just ride on that intensity. Look within yourself. Close your eyes if you have to, and just connect to the power within you. And from there, you can do great things and affect the world.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I'm sure that would help someone. You know, what's your definition of a woman who is whole? If you were to define a whole woman, like somebody that is whole, a woman that is whole, what's your definition of a whole woman?
A whole woman is a woman who is full of peace,
Mm.
love, joy, and worthiness. Peace, love, joy, worthiness, what we call righteousness. A woman who is full of peace, love, joy, and righteousness. Because when you have these, you are happy with yourself. You are content in any situation. There's turmoil everywhere, but you have peace. You are not looking for something to complete you. You are complete.
Mm.
You are whole. You can give from what you have because you are whole. A whole woman is a woman who has healthy mindsets, healthy belief
Mm.
systems, who is not negative, who is positive minded, a woman who sees the best in everyone, sees the best in every situation, can bring the good out of everything, can see the best out of everything, regardless of how bad things are. That woman can even affect the world with her wholeness. Instead of the world cracking up because of her, she's able to bring healing to spaces. She's able to bring healing to people, even sometimes without doing anything, just by being there, just by being. That's my definition of a whole woman.
I love it. And the follow-up question to that is, what do you think three practical steps or practical things that you know that can make a woman be whole?
Three
Food.
practical steps that can make a woman whole. Three practical steps. Number one, find out who you are. Work on your identity. because a lot of times we are broken by people, systems, situations. And these broken people kind of project themselves on us. So you begin to define yourself by people, their expectations, their beliefs, and by maybe your environment. I grew up in a place where, oh, people don't make it in life, they have to struggle a lot. Or I grew up in a place where the women are married early as girls and they don't have a say. It begins to affect your identity and it begins to make you settle for versions of yourself that are not you. So, practical step, who are you? Ask yourself, who am I? And begin to discover yourself. Begin to discover who you are. Discover who you are on the inside. The answers you're looking for are inside. So I would always direct people back to the inside. Who am I? Why do I do what I do? Why am I this way? Why does it feel like I am always feeling the burden of people that are going through things? Or why is it that I cannot mind my business? Or why is it that I mind my business? Why is it that I like staying by myself? Whatever it is, question yourself. Who am I? Who am I? Why do I do what I do? Why am I the way I am? Why do I have the passions that I have? As you question yourselves and you write the answers, trust me, you will draw the map into who you really are. And also, I'm a woman of faith, so I would say that if I'm going to add to that, I would say see yourself through the eyes of God. See yourself through your Creator, who God made you, whether you are aware or not. You didn't land here by accident or you just found yourself here. You didn't give yourself life or breath, right? So if you have a Bible around you or you don't have one, download one, buy one, start studying the scriptures. You will see yourself in the scriptures. By the time you get to know God, you will know yourself. I found myself in God, right? I found myself in God. I found my identity in God. I call myself fire today because I saw the fire in the scriptures and I saw that all the characteristics of fire is what I have. And I was given that personality for my destiny. So I'm not apologetic about it because I have seen myself through scriptures. By the time you begin to see yourself the way God sees you, everything changes. The second thing would be healing. You have to really look at the mindset that you have and look at the significant things that have happened in your life. Look at where you are right now and ask yourself, what mindsets landed me here? How do I think? What kind of thoughts do I have? Why did I? And if there's any unpleasant thing that has happened to you, try to think back to your childhood. I see so many people, especially women leaders, being hard and harsh. And if you trace it back, you would see that something happened to them that made them feel, I have to be this harsh person to be able to be listened to. Because probably when they were not harsh, they were treated a certain way. So really heal, because if you don't heal, you would not live fully. I don't know what your situation is or your status is, but there is more. So by the time you are boxed up with the unhealed version of yourself, what you will get would be little fragments of what you are supposed to get in life, in the holistic view. So really heal, sit down and really ask yourself, why do I act the way that I do? And what pains have I experienced in life? What hurts me and why does it hurt me? So that you're not giving of your heart, but you're giving of your heart. And so when you have healed, you can give of your heart and not your heart. And anything you're doing will not be because of pain. It will be because you have healed, and it will be sustainable, and it will build a positive legacy and not a negative one, right? The third thing, and then I want to add this, when you are healed, everything around you experiences that healing. Your office, your job, your employees, your colleagues, everyone, your children, your spouse, your relationships. It's a healed woman that would have a healed organization. A healed woman will raise healed children. A healed woman will be a healed wife. A healed woman will be whole, and everything that she's doing will be whole, and she won't be breaking things. Instead, she will be repairing things by her wholeness or with her wholeness. The third thing I would say, which is very practical, is audit your associations. Audit your association. Who are the people around you? Because sometimes Hey God, the people around you are the reason why you're not whole. They have this twisted mindsets and beliefs or twisted upbringing, and they carry this negative energy, and nothing is, the people that never see anything good. Oh, this hair is fine. Well, it's fine, but there's a line here, there's something, there's a white. Oh, that woman is fine. She's not the only fine person. The other fine people. This thing is working. No, it's not working. Nothing can work. Nothing can ever work. When you have such people around you, right? You can't be whole. You can't. So audit your relationships, audit your associations, audit your environment. If it is not whole, please, you are allowed to shift. You're not a tree. Even trees move sometimes. Depends on what is moving them. So get whole people around you, people that have a healthy perspective, that don't feel bad because somebody complimented someone, that don't feel like that they cannot take criticism, people who, just get whole people around you and it will affect you. So those are the three practicals that I'm going to share for just for now, right? Those three things, if you can stay with them and do them diligently, you would be on the journey to wholeness and you become a whole person.
I love it. And I just enjoy talking to you because you're deep. You're very, very deep, and you exude this personality of someone that has experience. Most times, and this is why we need to get you to come on the show to share a part of you. And this is where I would say thank you so much. The team at Your Voice, Your Impact is grateful to you, and particularly grateful to you for sharing from your experiences, your knowledge, the information that you have gathered over the years, and it shows that the work that you do is experiential. Like you're not just the talk. When somebody's talking, they have gone through certain things and they are working in that space. So thank you so much for using your voice for impact. So thank you, we appreciate it. And I mean, is there anything that you'd like to, maybe a question that I did not ask you, but is very relevant and important?
Yeah, I remembered when you were speaking about why should somebody use their voice. When I had asked you, what were the questions that you were going to ask? You had mentioned that why should somebody use their voice, or what is important about the voice and all of that. So I want to talk about that because it was on my mind just as you said you were wrapping up. So if you're listening to me and you are wondering what is the big deal about your voice, your impact, what is this about? The truth is that your voice is your power. Your voice carries strength and energy. Your voice has the ability to awaken you that has the voice. And you can't be treating your voice as nothing, and you can't be allowing people silence you. There's a question I always ask people: are you quiet or were you silenced? Sometimes why people are quiet is not because they don't want to speak, it's because they were silenced. So I'm speaking to you who wants to understand what's the big deal. Do I really need to speak? Do I really need to share? Do I really need to use my voice? You have to use your voice. First of all, to awaken yourself. Second of all, to awaken others who will not wake up until they hear your voice. They will not wake up until they hear your voice. And, there was something that happened to me some years ago. And, my life is full of stories, experiences. Sometimes I just even feel like I'm not even sharing enough of these experiences because there's just a lot. Every one particular time I was talking, I was praying, and I began to shout, Enifome, arise! Enifome, arise! And if you were listening to me, you'd be like, is she okay? What's wrong with her? But what was happening in that moment was I was speaking to myself. I was calling me out of me. Because when life happens to you, different things can dull you, can make you dull, can make you numb. Pain can make you numb, where you don't feel anything. You're just moving, you're just going, doing your routines. You just go to work, come back, take care of the kids, come back, go to the salon, come back. Or maybe if you don't have kids, maybe you are someone who just goes out, come back, go out, hang out with friends, come back. There is no soul in what you're doing. There's no life in what you're doing. There's no fire in what you're doing, because you have just, let's just see how it goes. Let's just take it, because things have happened to you up and down, back and forth, bass that has just made you feel like, no, let's not dream. Let's not even, no, let's just be in one corner. You get into a place and you're like, I don't want to say anything here. I don't want to talk. I don't want anybody to know that I'm here. So this is me telling you that your voice is a key. Your voice is your power. Your voice is, those things you have been saying you want to have. Your voice is the key to unlocking those things. If you don't talk, you're gonna die. If you don't talk to yourself, you will merely exist. You will not truly live. You will not live again. And you will not be able to affect your world with the change that you are carrying. So please, use your voice. Don't let anybody silence you. And if they have silenced you, this is your cue. This is your wake-up call to get up and live again. Get up and use your voice. In fact, if not for anything, use your voice for that thing that was trying to silence you. Use your voice to make sure that thing will not silence somebody else tomorrow. And that is really, one of the reasons why I'm so passionate, because no woman will go through what I went through. It ends with me. And so how would they know if I don't use my voice?
Special. So I have a belief that I always say, that I respect advocates, that they're not people that advocate for a particular cause. I respect them. I used to say that, look, if you don't know why people do certain things, pray for them, let them be. Because if you come and do anyhow, you won't know what's happening to you. You have touched an advocate. You have touched someone that is a voice for the voiceless. And I love what you just said around using your voice, because it is the power you have. And it just resonates with what we do on the show. We are using our platform to ensure that those that are already creating impact, and I pray that anybody that's watching this today and is saying that this woman has awoken, or what's the right term to use, has opened up something inside of me. I am ready. Yes, if you have a message, you can send us an email so that we can hear that thing that you have. Because like you rightly said, many people may be saying something, but because you have not said it, the people that you are called out to would not be awake. They will still be sleeping. So I'm very grateful that we had this conversation, and I'm sure that it will I'm the one asking you questions, but I'm blessed and I'm feeling, very inspired to keep using my voice for impact. And I'm grateful that you have echoed it, and someone, if you did not catch it, this is your sign to go back, watch from the very beginning, catch it, and take action. This is where we draw the curtains. But before we do that, finally, tell our audience if they want to reach you for coaching, for the work that you do, how should they go about it? What should they do?
Okay, so if you reach me for coaching, you would need to visit my website, www.enifome.com/coaching, and then just follow the prompts in the website and we would reach you. We would get your message and would reach you. You can also connect with me on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok at Enifome Speaks. Most of my resources are there, and sometimes I teach, I share, I offer coaching tips and all of that. And You can also DM me on LinkedIn or connect with me on LinkedIn at Enifome Ogbimi. So if you follow me, you will definitely hear about the things that I do, and you will be fired up because the content that I about is really very intentional about making sure that people are learning, growing, and becoming better through my content.
Thank you so much. It was nice having you on Your Voice, Your Impact. And I'm sure that sometime in the future, we'll probably run a master class with you as one of our faculty member. We're hoping to do that in the future. Thank you so much for coming. And to our audience, please share, like, subscribe. Make sure that even if you're not using your voice, use your hand. Start with that so that people can watch this episode. Thank you so much for joining us. This is where we say bye.